So the earliest known systems that we know of people trying to come up with units to define what is going on are basically this part of the world. It includes Egypt, which is here, or Mesopotamia, which is here, in present-day Iraq, or the Iranian area that we know right now as Iran or Persia, and then the Indus Valley. So imagine out of all of these parts in the world, it basically developed in 3,000 to 4,000 years BC. So about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, where people were trying to come up with ways that they could barter things with. So if I give you a piece of cloth, how much gold will you give back to me? And they were thinking about, as the movement of people became more and more throughout history, they had to figure out a common language that they could speak that would make sense. And the units of measurements were the earliest ones that we had to come up with. So for example, if I want to build a hut, I want to build something with the wood log. Well, how long do all my logs need to be in order for the house to stand? Can one log be this big and one log be this big? And can I make those into 4 walls and have a roof over it? No. I need to figure out a unit of measurement. If I want to buy a piece of cloth, well, how do I cut cloth? How do I sew it together? How do those things work? If I want to sell you food and I want to buy clothes from you, because not everybody can do everything, right? Supermarkets didn't exist, so you could just go and buy like a $10 t-shirt. Somebody had to make it. And then I would have to exchange my grains for your clothes that you're going to give me. Well, you're going to give me a piece of cloth. I need to now be able to measure myself in order to make clothes for me. So all of these things were necessities that were going on. Look at this picture. This is 5,000 years ago. About 5,000? Yeah, 5,000. So it's 2,600 BC. Add 2,000 to it. So these ruins are 5,000 years old. I can tell you, I have been to this area. It's called Mohenjo-daro. It's in Pakistan. The sewage system that they used in the construction of this city is the same sewage system that is being used in many parts of Pakistan right now. It was so well defined how they brought water into the city and how they extracted the dirty water out of the city. It was exceptionally well done. 5,000 years ago. So, how did they actually start all of these construction ideas? So pharaohs played a very important role. The digits were measured according to the pharaoh. So pharaoh's hand, pharaoh's arm length, and all of those things played a role. There's a big problem with that statement. Pharaohs lived how long? Give or take. How long is a human life? Well, it wasn't 100 years back then. So in those days, you would be lucky if you made it to 50. And suppose you became a pharaoh at age, 20, 25. And you lived up to maybe, on a good day, 50. So your your standard of units lasts 25 years. There's even a worse scenario. Somebody becomes pharaoh at age 9. Guess what happens? By the time you're age 16, you're going to grow, which means what? Your arms are going to grow. Your legs are going to grow. Your digits are going to grow. Oops. What just happened? Right? So every 6 months, are you going to have a new unit that you have to now send out to the rest of your, country so that people can actually know what to do? Time, on the other hand, was pretty well documented. So how was time measured? Time was usually measured by the setting and the rising of the sun or the moon. So the cycle. People also figured out volumes. How much oil do I have to give you for how much wheat? So I need oil and wheat to cook meals, and maybe chicken, right? So how much chicken do you want for how much oil that you're going to give me? Because one person can't have chickens and do oil and do the crops and, right? So people developed a system of bartering. They developed volumes. So I need to give you this much oil in exchange for this much chicken. And anyone interested in diamonds? Anyone know what the units for diamonds are? Carats. This is where they came from the carob seeds. So now they could use an SI system. They could use another one, but tradition is tradition. So diamonds are still measured in carob seeds. Carats. Now again, not 1-to-1 correlation, but pretty close.